Hey fellow Nevillers, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah, otherwise known as Neville O'Clock, because every hour of the day is a good time for Neville. Welcome my lovelies. I've got my nose up in Your Faith is Your Fortune, 1941. Amazing book by Neville. Let's go into it. I'm up in chapter 6, Whom Seek Ye? This is all about Neville telling us about the false teachers, or pseudo-teachers as he calls them, that we're looking for to guide us and help us. And all we have to do is realise that I am, your awareness is God, the master magician, bringing everything into your life. The beginning of the chapter, fellow Nevillers, Neville is describing to us or explaining to us how we look outside. He says it this way: today there is so much said about masters, elder brothers, adepts and initiates, that numberless truth seekers are being constantly misled by seeking these false lights. You and me are the truth seekers, Neville's referring to here. For a price, most of these pseudo-teachers offer their students initiation into the mysteries, promising them guidance and direction. Man's weakness for leaders, as well as his worship of idols, makes him an easy prey of these schools of teachers. Good will come to most of these enrolled students. They will discover after years of awaiting and sacrificing that they were following a mirage. I can tell you from personal experience that's exactly what happens. I've shared in previous videos how I've moved through. Neville is my fourth spiritual teacher I bumped into that I'm aware of. So that's the sacrificing that we go through until we finally realise that God is in us, dwells in us. He continues here, they will then become disillusioned in their schools and teachers, and this disappointment will be worth the effort and price they have paid for their fruitless search. They will then turn from their worship of man, and in so doing discover that which they are seeking is not to be found in another, for the kingdom of heaven is within. Thank you, Neville. Now he continues here, this realization will be their first initiation. The lesson learned will be this: there is only one master, and this master is God, the I am within themselves. So now you know where he is, fellow Nevillers. Neville continues, I am the Lord, thy God, who led thee out of the land of darkness, out of the house of bondage. I am, your awareness is Lord and Master, and besides your awareness, there is neither Lord or Master. You are Master of all that you will ever be aware of being. Is that not the most empowering line you've read? Well, till we bump into the next one. You are master of all that you will ever be aware of being. And then he continues in his wonderful, how can we say this? His kind of cutting sense of humour. He says, you know that you are, do you not? Knowing that you are is the Lord and Master of that which you know that you are. You could be completely isolated by man from that which you are conscious of being, yet you would, in spite of all human barriers, effortlessly draw unto yourself all that you are conscious of being. i.e. if you're conscious of being wealthy, you got it up here in your consciousness, and that's what you draw into your world, your 3D outside here, because it's in your consciousness. He says the man who is conscious of being poor does not need the assistance of anyone to express his poverty. That's totally true, isn't it? You don't need anybody to say you're poor. It's kind of a feeling. You think you're poor. You've got it drummed into your consciousness that you're poor. So that's totally true. Of course it is, because Neville's telling us. Now he says, the man who is conscious of being sick, though isolated in the most hermetically sealed, germ-proof area in the world, would express sickness because he thinks he's sick. There is no barrier to God, for God is your awareness of being. Regardless of what you are aware of being, you can and do express without effort. Stop looking for the master to come. He is with you always. I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. So Neville continues here, telling us there is no barrier to God. For God is your awareness of being. Regardless of what you are aware of being, you can and do express it without effort. Stop looking for the master to come. He is with you always. I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. You will from time to time know yourself to be many things, but you need not be anything to know that you are. You can, if you so desire, disentangle yourself from the body you wear. In so doing, you realize that you are a faceless, formless awareness and not dependent on the form you are in your expression. I.e., you can separate your I am from the body that you think you are. This is just about where I am in my journey, fellow Neville's, trying to completely ignore 3D. So Neville's telling us right here. He continues here, he says, you will know that you are. You will also discover that this knowing that you are is God, the Father, which preceded all that you ever knew yourself to be. Before the world was, you were aware of being, and so you were saying, I am, and I am will be, after all that you know yourself to be shall cease to be, i.e., when we leave this sphere, we will still know that we are. And now back to Neville's point about the teachers we're looking at or looking for to help us. There are no ascended masters. Banish this superstition. You will forever rise from one level of consciousness, master, to another. In so doing, you manifest the ascended level, expressing this newly acquired consciousness. Consciousness being Lord and Master, you are the Master Magician, conjuring that which you are now conscious of being. Yes, I am, and you are watching this video. We are the Master Magician, as Neville says, conjuring that which you are now conscious of being. For God, consciousness, calleth those things which be not as though they were. Things that are not now seen will be seen the moment you become conscious of being that which is now not seen. So, in your world, if you want wealth and you have no wealth, what Neville's telling us here, he says, things that are not now seen, i.e. the wealth you're looking for, will be seen the moment you become conscious of being wealth, which is now not seen. So the wealth is now not seen. Once you become conscious of being wealthy, then you'll see it in your 3D world. A little more about rising in consciousness here. This rising from one level of consciousness to another is the only ascension that you will ever experience. No man can lift you to the level you desire. The power to ascend is within yourself. It is your consciousness. And as we know, well, if you're new to Neville's works, the main premise is that consciousness is the one and only reality. I'll leave some links down there. We've talked about this before. As Neville says, the power to ascend is within yourself. It is your consciousness. You appropriate the consciousness of the level you desire to express by claiming that you are now expressing such a level, i.e. the consciousness level of being wealthy. You just kind of declare it, decree it, command it, claim it. Let me calm down. Then he says, this is the ascension. It is limitless, for you will never exhaust your capacity to ascend. That line there makes me feel super expansive. You will never exhaust your capacity to ascend. How could we? We're God. So, turn from your human superstition of ascension with its belief in masters and find the only and everlasting master within yourself. That's what we're doing, fellow Nevillers. He says, far greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Believe this. Do not continue in blindness, following after the mirage of masters. I assure you, your search can only end in disappointment. If you deny me, your awareness of being, I shall deny you also. Thou shalt have no other God beside me. Be still and know that I am God. Come, prove me, and see if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Do you believe that the I Am is able to do this? Do you? I do. I know you do too. Then claim me to be that which you want to see poured out, i.e. wealth or whatever it is, love, you're trying to manifest an SP or a home or whatever you're trying to manifest. Then claim me to be that which you want to see poured out. I do. I know you do too. Then claim me to be that which you want to see poured out, i.e. wealth or whatever it is, love, you're trying to manifest an SP or a home or whatever you're trying to manifest. Then claim me to be that which you want to see poured out. Claim yourself to be that which you want to be, and that you shall be. Not because of masters will I give it unto you, because you have recognized me, yourself, to be that I will give it unto you, for I am all things to all. Jesus would not permit himself to be called good master. He knew that there is but one good and one master. He knew this one to be his Father in heaven, the awareness of being. The kingdom of God, good, and the kingdom of heaven are within you. Your belief in masters is a confession of your slavery. Only slaves have masters. Change your conception of yourself and you will, without the aid of masters or anyone else, automatically transform your world to conform to your changed conception of yourself. Personal share, fellow Nevillers. The groups I belong to, the groups I belong to, fellow Nevillers, Facebook groups, I met some friends there and I thought to myself, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could work with people that think a little like I do, i.e. they're Neville. I.e. they're into Neville, they've come to the truth like I have and you have here viewing this channel. I literally thought to myself, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could work with people that think like me? And do you know what? I now work with 2 of them. That's how simple it is. I simply assumed, that I was going to work with them, that it would be wonderful. And sure enough, I am now working with them. Let me continue with the book, fellow Nevillers. You are told in the book of Numbers that there was a time when men were in their own eyes as grasshoppers. And because of this conception of themselves, they saw giants in the land. I know personally I've felt like a grasshopper among important people as we deem them before we know the truth. Neville says, this is as true of man today as it was the day it was recorded, i.e. in the Bible. Man's conception of himself is so grasshopper-like that he automatically makes the conditions appear gigantic in his blindness. He cries out for masters to help him fight his giant problems. Yes, I have done this. Jesus tried to show man that salvation was within himself and warned him not to look for his saviour in places or people. If anyone should come saying, look here or look there, believe him not, for the kingdom of heaven is within you. How many times have we heard that, fellow Nevillers? Many, many times from Neville's lips. Jesus not only refused to permit himself to be called good master, he warned his followers, salute no man along the highway. He made it clear that they should not recognize any authority or superior other than God the Father. I sure wish I was told this at a younger age, but better late than never, fellow Nevillers. Jesus established the identity of the Father as man's awareness of being. I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. I am one with all that I am conscious of being. I am greater than that which I am aware of being. The Creator is ever greater than his creation. Very true. And then we're back to the Bible. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. The serpent symbolizes man's present conception of himself as a worm in the dust, living in the wilderness of human confusion. And that's where we are. We're in 3D here. This concrete world we're standing in is our wilderness of human confusion, is what Neville calls it. He also calls it the flame of experience. He says, just as Moses lifted himself from his worm of the dust conception of himself to discover God to be his awareness of being. So that's what we're doing, moving from our present worm of the dust conception to discover that we are God, that God is our awareness of being. He says, I am hath sent me, so must you be lifted up. The day you claim, as did Moses, I am that I am, the day your claim will blossom in the wilderness. I have been claiming I am that I am. You can read it a million times in Neville's works, his lectures and his books. And finally one day you kind of join the dots up and you're like, oh, I am that I am. I am, and you are too. He says, your awareness is the master magician who conjures all things by being that which he would conjure. The Lord and Master that you are can and does make all that you are conscious of being in your world. You are the master magician. No man manifestation cometh unto me, save my Father draw him, and I and my Father are one. You are constantly drawing to yourself that which you are conscious of being. Change your conception of yourself from that of the slave to that of Christ. Don't be embarrassed to make this claim. Only as you claim, I am Christ, will you do the works of Christ. I must admit, when I read this in Neville's works, that you can claim that you are Christ, it caused a little bit of discomfort within myself. It's not something you generally do, is it? Go around saying, I am Christ. Well, saying it out loud. He really means saying it on the inside. But anyway, fellow Nevillers, do it. I did it. And he continues here. The works I do, ye shall do also, and greater works than these shall ye do, for I go unto my Father. He made himself equal with God and found it not robbery to do the works of God, because as you know, we are all one and we are all emanations of God. He continues, Jesus knew that anyone who dared to claim himself to be Christ would automatically assume the capacities to express the works of his conception of Christ. I'll take a break here because all of us have a different conception of Christ. Whatever we've been taught, what we've been read, what we've taken into consciousness, fellow Nevillers. He continues here, Jesus also knew that the exclusive use of the principle of expression was not given to him alone. We all are. He constantly referred to his Father in heaven. He stated that his works would not be only equaled but they would be surpassed by the man who dared to conceive himself to be greater than he, Jesus, had conceived himself to be. I perceive the works of Jesus Christ, the healing part where you use revision. You change your conception of someone in your world. Say that they're sick. Say that, well, yeah, if they appear sick in your 3D, in your physical world, you use the technique called revision. You change your conception of that other to be healthy. There's some links down here and some other videos discussing revision. So that's where this part comes from. They would be surpassed by that man who dared conceive himself to be greater than he had conceived himself to be. That's what we do. We go out into our consciousness and basically lift all others up. He continues, the works I do ye shall do also, and greater works than these shall ye do. For I go unto my Father. He made himself equal with God and found it not robbery to do the works of God. Jesus knew that anyone who dared to claim himself to be Christ would automatically assume the capacities to express the works of his conception of Christ. Jesus also knew that the exclusive use of this principle of expression was not given to him alone, that he and his Father were one, but that his Father was greater than he, revealed his awareness, Father, to be one with that which he was aware of being. He found himself as Father, or awareness, to be greater than that which he, as Jesus, was aware of being. You and your conception of yourself are one. You are and always will be greater than any conception you will ever have of yourself. Now Neville tells us how we rise. He says you rise to a higher level of consciousness by taking your attention away from your present limitations and placing it upon that which you desire to be. We've been talking about wealth in this video, so that's what we do, fellow Nevillers. It says, do not attempt this in daydreaming or wishful thinking, but in a positive manner. Claim yourself to be the thing desired. I am that no sacrifice, no diet, no human tricks. All that is asked of you is to accept your desire. If you dare claim it, you will express it. So that's what we need to do, fellow Nevillers. Now an instruction. Meditate on these, says Neville. I rejoice not in the sacrifices of men, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit. Ask and you shall receive. Come eat and drink without price, i.e. just ask. There's no price. He says the works are finished. All that is required of you to let these qualities into expression is the claim. I am that. In our case, I am wealth, or I am wealthy. Aim yourself to be that which you desire to be, and that you shall be. Expressions, i.e. when it comes to pass, follow the impressions, i.e. what you've impressed in your consciousness. They do not precede them. Proof that you will follow the claim that you are. It will not precede it. Leave all and follow me is a double invitation to you. First, it invites you to turn completely away from all your problems, and then it calls upon you to continue walking in the claim that you are that which you desire to be. Do not be Lot's wife who looks back and becomes salted or preserved in the dead past. Be a Lot who does not look back, but who keeps his vision focused upon the promised land, the thing desired. So that's what we have to do. Do this and you will know that you have found the master magician, making the unseen seen through the command, I am that. And that's the end of chapter, fellow Nevillers. That's quite a powerful one, isn't it? All we have to do is claim, I am that. You can put anything in that position. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am a home owner. I am loved. Anything. So don't look back like Lot's wife, which I've been doing. Keep focusing on my problems. Let's not do that. Let's remember who we are, and we are God. Our world is Jesus Christ. Our awareness is God, and that's just so empowering. Stay focused on your desire, fellow Nevillers. I'm going to hold you accountable, and you can hold me accountable. I am. Be the best you can be, fellow Nevillers. Thank you for your time and attention. Please give the video a thumbs up if you found it useful. I love thumbs up, and so does YouTube. Big fat kiss, because I'm all about love up here. I am love. See you next time, fellow Nevillers. Bye.